captured ISIS fighters provide clues to remains of Jihadi John victims. Information about the possible location of the remains of U.S. hostages killed by ISIS in Syria has been provided in recent days by 2 ISIS fighters captured in eastern Syria in early January, according to multiple U.S. officials. The 2 men have given Kurdish Syrian Democratic Forces details about potential burial locations of several U.S. and Western hostages killed by Mohammed Emwazi, the British ISIS operative known as Jihadi John responsible for the beheading of several American hostages, the officials said. The ISIS fighters have been identified by U.S. intelligence as Alexander Cody and El Shaifi Al-Shk, known associates of Jihadi John. The New York Times was the first to report the capture of the 2 men. Emwazi was killed in a U.S. airstrike in Syria in 2015. It has long been believed the hostages he beheaded in a series of violent videos were killed outside Raqqa. U.S. intelligence has long suspected a general location, but had not been able to send U.S. personnel on a search without more specific details and because there has been fighting in the area until recently. U.S. personnel will have to recover the remains and then confirm any potential identities through DNA testing. The U.S. is informing the families of Americans and others held and killed in Syria there are new leads on the possible whereabouts of the remains of their loved ones. But the officials have cautioned it is very early in the process. The remains still have to be fully recovered and undergo an identification process, the officials say. Kurdish forces, mainly Syrian Democratic Forces, are holding hundreds of detainees, says one official. Interrogations of those with the most valuable information are also yielding fresh intelligence to U.S. special forces involved in analyzing information about the current state of ISIS capabilities and planning. One U.S. assessment is that thousands of ISIS operatives have escaped Syria in recent months and are potentially back in Europe, potentially plotting new attacks, one U.S. official with direct knowledge of the latest information tells CNN. The assessment includes growing concerns these one-time foreign fighters are now able to plan fresh attacks in the West, officials say. In particular, there is concern that the Turkish-Syrian border has again become porous in recent weeks since Turkish forces began conducting their incursion into northern Syria. There is also intelligence that shows a significant number of fighters are crossing back into Turkey and then moving into Libya and Egypt. Fighters have been caught with sophisticated forged documents made by ISIS, contributing to a continuing concern that the terrorist group remains far from down and out, one official said.